This is Dave Nicosia, Warning Coordination Meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Binghamton, New York. This is our first briefing on our heavy rain flood potential for the weekend of June 27th and 28th. This briefing applies to the National Weather Service Binghamton service area only. And you can see the map below, which is our forecast area. So, in summary, we have a very unusual winter-like storm system that is expected to impact New York and Pennsylvania Saturday and Sunday. This storm is expected to bring a widespread 1.5 to maybe as much as 2.5 inches of rain for our forecast area for the weekend. Some of the impacts that we're looking at, our area rivers may rise to half bankful, especially the larger rivers, and 3/4 bankful on our smaller rivers. Our smaller streams and creeks could actually spill their banks and cause minor flooding. We also anticipate the potential for poor drainage and urban flooding as well. We are not expecting rapid flash flooding with this system through the weekend. We've had a lot of problems on Cayuga Lake and the Seneca River, and they will continue to be high through the weekend, but we are not expected to see any significant flood problems because a lot of water is being released from this basin as we speak. The rest of the Finger Lakes will remain under flood stage. So some current watches and warnings as of noon. And you'll note in the green, that is the area where there are flood watches and some flood warnings in effect. And that is west of central New York and northeast Pennsylvania. The rain really isn't expected to begin in our area until Saturday morning. Therefore, we have time to determine whether we're really going to see significant flood problems or just minor flood problems. And if we're only looking at minor flood problems, we probably are not going to need flood watches. Here's the expected rainfall through Monday morning. And you'll notice the heaviest rain is where those flood watches are in effect, where they're expecting between 2 and 3 inches of rain, and some places will go over 3 inches of rain. But you'll note as we get into northeast Pennsylvania and up into central New York, the amount of rain drops off to about 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rain. So we're lesser rain amounts in our area. So here's the flood potential. There's a potential for localized minor flooding in poor drainage areas and our typical flood-prone areas this weekend. A very small chance for significant flash flooding that we saw a couple weeks ago. And Cayuga Lake and the Seneca River, we're not expecting to see any significant problems. We ran some local models here, and we found that we need 3 inches of rain or more to start seeing problems again on Cayuga Lake, Seneca River. But for the most part, our larger rivers, with the projected rainfall of 1.5 to 2 inches or so, will be at half bankful crest, and our smaller rivers will be at 3/4 bankful. Small streams could spill, but we're not expecting any major flash flooding on the smaller streams, maybe some minor flooding. Here are some thresholds to consider. If we see 1.5 inches of rain across our entire area, and that is our most likely scenario, again, we would see half bankful on the large rivers, 3/4 bankful on the smaller rivers, and only some minor poor drainage and small stream flood issues. If we see 2 inches of widespread rainfall or more, we would expect half to 3/4 bankful on the larger rivers and some minor flooding on the smaller rivers and the streams. It really is going to take a widespread 3-inch rainfall or more to really start flooding on our rivers and have a lot of problems on Cayuga Lake. The probability of that is around 10%. So the most likely scenario is just half to 3/4 bankful on our rivers and some small stream and minor poor drainage flooding issues. To get the latest information, you could visit our Advanced Hydrologic Prediction website. This will have all the latest river forecasts and stages. And again, there's still some uncertainty on exactly where the heaviest rainfall, so we urge you to go to this site. You could also get rainfall forecasts and our latest watches and warnings on our websites. Since there is still uncertainty as the storm is a day out, monitor those conditions, and you can get on your mobile phone. You can get a widget where you can save to your home screen. If you're using a PC, go to weather.gov/BGM. And again, we have an excellent social media presence here at the Weather Service in Binghamton. You can follow us on Twitter or go to our Facebook page.